you drop a few in a row. It's hard. It's hard, and it's hard to, feel confident about yourself, about your team, but give our guys a lot of credit. We just played a team that was down 23 at Clemson and came back and won. We were only up 2 at the locker room. I'm sure they felt really good at halftime. I thought our defense, particularly in the second half, was much better than the first. And, as far as players, I'm really happy for Jalen. He's had a tough season, and, he hasn't hung his head. He's made mistakes, and he knows it, and he's owned it. He's owned it. He hasn't pointed the finger. And so, you're always happy for your players when they have success the way he did tonight. I thought he gave us a spark in the first half and, was a lot more aggressive to the rim. And so, we're happy we won. We got to learn from some of the things that we have to clean up, and then we'll get ready to play a really good Notre Dame team on Saturday.
Chris, you mentioned that aggressiveness around the rim from Jalen. He tried 2 dunks that he didn't get, but he was attacking. Other than that, did you see anything else that was really different about him tonight?
Well, I thought, first of all, I thought those attacks, he gets fouled on one. And again, when you go violently to the basket like that, a lot of times you're going to get the benefit of the doubt. I thought in the second half he might have gotten fouled as well, but the referee didn't see it that way. But we need him attacking, and it's evident that he's listening to the message and trying to put it into practice, because that's really not who he's ever been. But he's just got so much athleticism, and he's got to be that for us. I just thought he played a lot more confident. He scored a couple around the basket. We posted him up. Didn't get sped up, didn't get the ball stripped. We've talked a lot about that to him. And he had really good ball placement on his moves, got in the lane, and finished. And I thought his defense was pretty good. We got to rebound better as a team, and he was a part of that. But, again, when you've had the snide that he has, it's baby steps, and I'm really happy that he really took a huge step forward for us today.
You guys have gotten so little production out of him over the course of the year. If he could start to give you a little something more, how much could that change?
It changes a lot, because he's, arguably, one of our best athletes. He can really get up off the floor. He can do a lot of different things. At times, we've talked, he's got to stay in his lane at times and just keep it simple. I don't want to pull him out because he's got cumulative mistakes happening. And, he asked me what he could do to play more, and I said, worst case scenario, and when I pull you out, and after a 3 or 4 minute stretch, it's got to be because you were tired, not because you had multiple turnovers and had a defensive lapse, forgot to block out. Again, he wasn't perfect tonight in any way, shape, or form, but he was much better. It gave the coaching staff a lot more confidence in keeping him in there.
Chris, you changed up the starting lineup tonight. What do you think that group gave you to start this game off?
Well, I talked to our team on Monday and said that we're not going to put a team 1, team 2, and team 3 out there. We're just going to have red, white. And you're going to earn, what you get in terms of who starts. Because obviously what we're doing wasn't working in the last 3 games. Having said that, I don't want to pin it on those starters, because we've started games pretty well. We haven't come to the bench down 14-2. Every game at the first TV timeout, it's either a possession one way or the other, or it's tied. Certainly we'd love to get off to a big lead, but, NC State, game we lost here, we were winning. Now, it's been the start of the second half. So we talked about, as a staff, the guys that play well in the first half, regardless of who's starting, are going to play in the second half. That's who will start. And, I didn't have any major complaints in the guys that started off our game.
I think this is the first time you played Malik and Sydney at the start. How do you like that look, and is that something we're likely to see going forward?
Yeah, I think we'd worked on it, Tim, for a week or so, and Sid got hurt, so we could, he didn't play him at Pitt. But it can present some challenges for the other team. Malik's not necessarily a stretch four. I know, at least in terms of his size, he can shoot the ball. But he's really good defensively, whether he's on the perimeter or whether he's in the post, although I don't think he played his best tonight. And so it allows us to put 2 guys on there out there that can rebound the ball, that can give us different looks offensively. And moving forward, we're going to do it at times.
Chris, when you go hour and 17 minutes later than you expected. What are you kind of doing back there? How do you keep them sort of ready to go?
We were just trying to, keep apprised of what was going on when they thought that the leak might stop, when we'd be able to get on the floor. Our guys probably for about 20 minutes until the break became way too long, went to the aux gym, shot a little bit. Then they just sort of hung in the locker room and, once we got the official word that it was probably going to be 45 minutes to an hour, then guys started to get stretched out, loosened up. We had already done all our pregame work in terms of just our talk and stuff on the chalkboard. So we didn't necessarily have to address those guys anymore, just trying to keep them abreast of what was happening.
Chris, after what you guys just went through for 3 games, how much did this group just need a double-digit win where you had it down the stretch for confidence purposes?
Yeah, I just need to win. I mean, it beats, nail-biter at the very, very end. But, Boston College, gave us all they could handle, all we could handle for a large majority of the game. And so I knew they wouldn't have any quit in them. You watch them go to Clemson, South Carolina, and do what they did. They got a new coach who's doing a really good job, and their kids play hard. So, it beats the alternative, I can tell you that. My wife will let me in the house now.
Chris, they missed 14 layups. Are you encouraged by the way you contested around the rim, or a little concerned about giving up 27 attempts?
Concerned. I mean, again, you got to learn in a loss and a win. You got to learn some lessons, and I thought they had some looks that some of the teams we play are going to knock them in, including Boston College. So we do have to do a much better job. But I told our team, Tim referenced this the other day, like we had lost 6 in a row at Xavier, and we went to DePaul. They were last place in the league. I didn't tell that story until our guys, got to the locker room after the game. It's hard to win when you've lost, a few in a row. Not a lot of people have good things to say about you, your team, players, and so it's a challenge. And I'm happy for our guys. They found the resilience to, hold Boston College to 54, and, we're going to try to build from here.
Chris, you had Mason in there with that first group, and what does he bring when he's in there? Most of his points came late, but I think he had 5 assists in the first half.
He finds guys. He does it a little differently. He's strong kid. He really changes speeds well. He doesn't just blow by you. Although he needs to. In this league, he's got to bring spurts of quickness every once in a while. He has it in him, but he plays like that old rec baller sometimes. But he finds guys. He gets in the lane. He's strong with the ball. He can tell who's helping in. And so he gets some of our guys some really good shots and some dump-offs for some of our big guys, and we recognize that.
Chris, back here, is there one guy over the last few games, in between the last few games and tonight's win, that really stepped up, just taking ownership of that leadership in the locker room?
I think, Sid has really come out of his shell. I wouldn't say he's the leader of our team, but, he's a kid that really cares about winning, cares about his teammates. If I told Sid, hey, tonight during the game, I don't want you to take one shot, he wouldn't raise his eyebrows. He wouldn't take one shot. He'd do exactly what we ask. And that's what you want. And it's like all he cares about is winning. And he's really starting to open up, with his teammates, with his coaches. It's been fun to watch. He didn't get here until late August. And, I'm happy for him. But, we've got some good leadership in our locker room.
Chris, along that line, was there a point where you saw those guys kind of taking ownership and taking charge themselves, where you didn't have to tell them what to do, that they sort of figured it out on their own?
Well, I just think that a telltale sign of what you want as a coach is when they come to practice on Monday after we lose to Pitt. And, we're not picking guys up with a spatula. There was big-time energy. Guys were competing. They were wanting to get better. So their heart's in the right place. Guys want to win. They want to win for Louisville. They want to win for their city, their school, their teammates. And we're just figuring it out. And that was a good sign.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Back with Sidney Curry and